Oh, hello. I'm Sketch.
And I'm Shades.
And this is
Geek Out Midstream.
I love that intro. I love our Midstream intro.
Yeah, me too.
How's it going, Shades?
It's going pretty well, Sketch.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, well, too much real world. Not enough fake world.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad to be
Big
back
time.
geeking out with you again. Because
likewise,
things are simpler. Things are simpler in the geeking verse.
A rough time in Egyptology.
It's a rough time in Egyptology all around right now.
I mean, honestly, I don't know how you still have a career in Egyptology after the Mummy episode.
One of the best. One of the most sought after these days.
That is shocking.
But guys, welcome back. Hope you listened to our Captain Marvel double feature.
Oh my goodness, I'm really loving those double features.
How did you feel about our Captain Marvel double feature, Shades?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I very much enjoyed it.
I pat on our back because I think exceptional work on that one.
Likewise,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I will also give the old pat on the back.
And
there.
because we did so well, I don't have any corrections. I feel good about what I said.
Nothing glaring stood out.
No.
I have this nagging suspicion in the back of my mind that I'm forgetting something, but I have such little emotional energy and brain power this week.
You just can't.
I'm just gonna let it. Yeah, I can't
let it out there.
I'm just gonna let it slide.
Yeah.
Longtime listeners, if there was something in there, I'm sure you'll correct me.
Yeah, but
as you always do.
But you got our thoughts on Marvel's Captain Marvel and DC's Captain Marvel and the history and just the pure geeking out over Shazam. I mean, it was a great episode.
It really was.
Great episode. So, Shades.
Yes.
This week, these last 2 weeks, I gave you some homework. You remember?
Yes, I have now. I'm fresh from watching the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer.
And now you're a furry?
And
you heard it here first?
I am. I don't understand.
How?
Yeah, I just don't understand. And it immediately after our last midstream, the next headline, Jeff Fowler promised, quote, "You aren't happy with the design and you want changes. It's going to happen. Everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best he can be." So obviously, Jeff Fowler is a long-time listener.
Hey, Jeff.
I mean, I just want to say right now, I'm sure this is going to get fixed, and I just feel so bad for all of the animators working on this project. I mean, it is just going to be grueling.
Do you think
to retool this character?
Do you think someone got fired?
I'm
not saying
yes.
I'm not saying the animators, but
I think someone got
designer.
fired. Probably not the person who should have been fired.
Oh, well, that's always the way it works.
Yeah.
Too much real world.
But I mean, it is not.
It was
good.
shocking. It was shocking.
It really was.
And disturbing. Did you ever see the poster for it in the theater of
with just his legs?
Just his legs, but it's but you're between his legs, you're him. That's not where I want to be.
No.
For a larger than life movie poster, I don't want to be squarely nestled right there.
And I don't know how I feel about Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
I mean,
or is he Eggman now? He's not Robotnik anymore, right?
He's Dr. Eggman. Like we're going Eggman for this. I had no idea he was in it until I saw the trailer.
Likewise, I'm very surprised after Kick-Ass that Jim Carrey's returning to the world of comics and video games.
But wait, he was in Kick-Ass?
He was in Kick-Ass 2.
Oh, I didn't see Kick-Ass 2.
And he, before the movie came out, he did an about face, was like, I'm really sorry I was in this movie. I don't agree with the message and tone of violence and
interesting.
And actively campaigned against the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm really surprised to see him back in this world.
I'm surprised to hear he was in Kick-Ass 2. Should I see Kick-Ass 2? Is it worth it?
I enjoyed it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a double feature one of these days.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, I really like the 1st one.
I'm a fan of those movies. Yeah, so I just want to reiterate, Jeff Fowler, I'm not sure why he was chosen as director. I mean, I didn't really like his take on Where the Wild Things Are. He really deviated from those characters in subtle but wound up being strong ways. And now with this Sonic debacle.
Do you think we have a sure thing after credit scene introduction to Tails?
I mean, I don't know.
Miles Tails Powers. I think that's his full name.
I just don't know.
Oh, we'll see. Guys, we'll see.
I don't think they're going to have a budget to do anything extra at this point.
No. All this
I really don't.
redoing. It'll be interesting to hear after it's all done what they had to take out to.
Doesn't the movie come out in July?
No idea. No idea.
I feel like it's soon.
It could be, but I have no idea. People are working overtime right now.
I mean, yeah, I really mean that. I really feel bad for these animators.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
November 8th, Sonic is released.
So that's basically July. You were basically right.
Yeah.
You were as right.
Not so much.
You were as right as I am on my movie estimates.
You're gonna give it to me?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you.
Thank you.
You were on the same calendar year.
That's true. I was.
You know, speaking
is that
of
the same? Is that the same fiscal quarter? No, it's not. Never mind.
No idea. That's way too much real world. Way too much real world.
Yeah.
But speaking of beloved video game characters brought to life, I did see Detective Pikachu the other day.
Yeah. What are your initial thoughts?
With the misses? It was good. It was obviously geared towards a younger audience without that much layering for like an older audience.
Understandable.
But there were, if you've grown up with these games, if you've played the games a lot, there were a lot of I will call them Easter eggs strewn about that were fun to check out. And the Pokemon were rendered fantastically. They were as realistic as I think you could ever want or expect.
High praise from Sketch.
Yeah. So, definitely, if you grew up with Pokemon in any capacity, whether it was the show or the games, I would check out the movie. I think it would be worth your time.
I was not a Pokemon fan. Yeah. How do you think I'm going to enjoy this?
I think you will enjoy it much, much less.
Okay.
But time will tell.
I was squarely team Digimon.
Oh, yeah. Digimon was great. Yeah. I love Digimon as well. They're so different. They're
wildly different.
So different.
Wildly different.
But maybe that's a discussion for the Pokemon episode.
That might be an interesting Patreon episode.
Oh, compare and contrast.
Digimon to Pokemon.
Yeah. Speaking of Patreon,
long-time listeners, write in if you want to see that.
Speaking of Patreon,
we've got a Patreon exclusive dropping this week.
Yeah, our MCU rankings.
Ranking.
Yeah, you guys all wanted it. You love the numbers. You love it when we crunch those stats.
Thor: The Dark World. Did not see it. Still not my least favorite MCU movie.
Yeah. I don't know how you swung that, but
yeah.
There you are. What else has come out this week, Shades?
What else is coming out this week?
Or has come out this past week? Spider-Man.
Oh yes, the Spider-Man
Far From Home.
Trailer number 2.
What it's called? Far From Home.
Far From Home. Oof.
Oof?
I mean,
you're saying oof?
It just oof. Looks like it's going to be another emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it could be. My biggest takeaway is I'm in such a good place right now with the MCU and Endgame that I just like a little time off. I just like a little time to like digest it all.
I don't think you're going to get it.
No, I know I'm not going to get it. But I feel so satisfied at the moment that in a perfect world, I could wait a year for another Marvel movie. Wow. I'm not going to be able to.
Right.
So I just hope that I don't feel like, too much too soon this summer. But what do I have? 2 months still? I'm pretty sure that one comes out
July.
In July. Yeah.
July.
July. Not November, July.
Yes, not November, July.
But hey, I mean, it looks cool. We get Nick Fury.
Yeah, Nick Fury back with a vengeance.
And we get multiple spider suits.
Yes. Everybody's losing their minds over the stealth suit.
Are they?
I've never been a fan of the stealth suit.
Oh.
Can I tell you why?
It's too similar to the noir suit.
Fingerprints.
What about fingerprints?
The stealth suit has fingerless gloves.
Oh, does it really?
And if you're in an espionage stealth suit, you probably don't want to leave behind fingerprints.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting choice.
Have you seen in the trailer? Is it fingerless?
It is fingerless,
Oh, boy.
yes.
Oh boy.
Unless they are actually, I'm sorry, in the trailer they have not shown it yet. They in a lot of publicity stills and behind the scenes they have shown it, and maybe they're going to digitally add fingers to it for some reason.
If they want you happy,
that would just be weird.
If they want a high shade score, they're going to have to.
I mean, I just don't know. I don't know how I feel. I mean, I do know how I feel. They're fun. They're fantastic. They deviate so wildly from established Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how I feel about this universe yet.
I really love Tom Holland and his
Holland's
portrayal.
fantastic. Yes. Yep.
Like I said, my hesitation is just like I'm full. Oh, I'm full. It's bringing out the pie after Thanksgiving. You know, I'm like, oh,
but
I didn't
also
savor 'em.
International Spider-Man. I don't know. They tried this with Batman Incorporated.
Mhm.
It was not good.
I did like
Spider-Man
the line.
works best on small scale.
I did like
friendly
the
neighborhood.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
and that's the line I like in the trailer when he says,
Yes.
I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And he's like, no, you've been to space. You're a little beyond that
Right.
now.
Yes.
Yeah, Spider-Man has been catapulted into a much bigger world than he's used to. But, time will tell. Very soon on that one. We won't have to wait long for that one.
And I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, I will. I'm sure I will walk out of that theater happy.
Marvel hasn't made a dud. I mean, just a dud in a very long time.
Dud. Full on dud.
Full on
Well,
dud.
if our long-time listeners want to know which dud you're referring to, Patreon ranking episode.
Tune into our Patreon
Yeah.
subscriber
There you
episode,
go.
our exclusive Patreon subscriber
you
episode
go.
that you can find at patreon.com/shades and sketch.
There you go.
It's a fun one.
Before we tell our long-time listeners what we're talking about next week, which honestly, long-time listeners, you should have guessed already. But
Yes.
can we talk just a hot second about Game of Thrones?
Sure. I am not caught up.
Yes, no spoilers.
I am through the first
3.
I am through Battle of Winterfell.
Yes, you've seen the first 3. You're on the what do they call that? The front 9. You still have the back 9.
Yeah.
Although it's only 3 this season on each side.
The rising action.
But
if you will.
We won't talk any spoilers about the season.
It doesn't matter because you can't turn around on the internet. You can't click on the internet right now without seeing a Game of Thrones spoiler, which is
let's
infuriating.
Let's not sink to their level. Let's not spoil it for people. Well, you haven't seen it, so you can't spoil it.
I mean, it's been spoiled for me, but not so epically as when Jon Snow's return.
But
was spoiled for me.
The fans, not happy. We'll just say that.
Yes,
and
that is putting it mildly sketch.
Vocal. I mean, it is.
Yes,
it is. It is getting hot out there. It's getting dicey.
I mean, season 8 is destroying the Game of Thrones fandom.
Yes, it really is.
Almost
it's tearing everyone apart.
In the same way that the show is winding down and killing off characters, this season is destroying the show's legacy.
Yeah. All the
George R.R. Martin must be hiding in a corner, defecating himself.
Whoa.
Because
there's a visual.
Yeah. I don't know how people are going to react when he eventually puts the book out.
Well, I've heard conflicting reports that George is working alongside the Davids,
right? Heavily involved,
and
this is how he always planned that it was going to end.
And then I've heard other reports that say that he's flat out said, no, the characters are not necessarily going to go the same direction as they are in the book and the show. Who knows? I do plan though to start reading them over the summer.
Oof. I will not be following you in that endeavor.
I'm aware,
Sketch.
but
that will be
I'm
an
interested.
interesting. That will be an interesting episode when we finally do Game of Thrones
Yes.
for you to chime in and say, but in the books.
And I will definitely not be that far in the books by the time that episode comes out.
Oh, come on. You gotta go all in for our longtime listeners.
Do you know I'm a product of the American education system. My reading is, I'm good with hieroglyphics, but the American English script, not so much.
I'm sorry, Sketch. So you're saying you're only able to interpret pictures.
Yeah, pictographs. Yep.
Your written literacy ends at
No, first grade.
pictures.
First grade, second grade, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there.
But no, I'm gonna start them. But you know what? You know what'll be the true test is, will it pull me in? If it pulls me in, I'll fly through it. If it doesn't, then
I just don't think it's gonna pull you in.
Then don't put that pressure on me to have them done. What are there? 5 out right now?
Maybe
5, and there's like 2 more to go. I don't know. Who knows? Like that's Game of Thrones. That's the Game of Thrones episode.
It's not in a good place.
The show.
It's not in a good place at all.
You know, when we first said we're going to do a Game of Thrones episode, and well, basically I said we have to because it's such a big cultural phenomenon, and you were hesitant because you had kind of jumped ship, and you started watching this season so that we could do it because you agree it's big enough that it must be discussed.
It is a cultural event.
But when I first brought it up, I was like, I don't even know how we're gonna like steer this conversation. Like, there's so much in Game of Thrones. Like, what are we gonna talk about? I now know exactly what to talk about.
Thank you, Internet.
Yeah, so I think when we get around to that episode, it's gonna be a good one.
Cool.
But I guess that brings us to next week, right?
I guess so, Sketch.
So next
Sketch,
week,
where's GOCO taking us next week?
Where did we go next week? I know what we're talking about next week. I'm just blanking on where we end up. But you know what? It'll be a surprise for me as well.
It'll be a surprise for us,
guys. You might have missed it because it was just a flash in the pan.
Little blip.
Little movie came out. I think it was a small independent, privately financed little flick. Called DC Marvel Stan Lee's Avengers Infinity War Part 2 Endgame. Short into Avengers Endgame.
Avengers Endgame.
We've given you
DC had a credit in there?
I think it was Marvel's, Disney's.
Oh, Disney's. There you go.
But then in the big title after Disney, it says in parentheses, not DC's, end parenthesis.
Gotcha.
And then it continues going on. Brought to you by Charmin and Ben and Jerry's and Michelin tires. But
so random.
guys, we gave you like a month to see it before we're going to just spoil the bejeebus out of it for you.
Yeah.
And has
it really been a month?
Well, I think by the time
it came out,
next week rolls around.
Yes, it will be a month.
Yeah. And
I feel like we saw it yesterday.
I think last week the Russo brothers kind of gave like the public I guess permission.
The spoiler embargo is over.
Which I didn't even know that was a thing. Like the directors can say, you may now discuss my movie publicly.
Well, also the actors were embargoed from talking about it or posting behind the scenes footage.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Was the thing?
That
yes,
makes more sense.
And Chris Pratt had violated it. He posted a behind the scenes issue before it on May 9th.
I saw that. That was pretty cool.
And he got a stern talking to.
Oh boy. Boy. What are they going to do with Chris Pratt? What are they going to write Star-Lord out of the next Guardians of the Galaxy?
Well, there are lots of other Guardians to put in those movies.
There are. Hasn't Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 been through enough lately?
Oh boy.
Ay, Dios mío. So guys, next week we are talking all things Endgame.
Indeed.
And so this is your last chance to see it before we discuss it.
So go see it.
And we go deep. Do we
do.
Wait, do we go deep?
I don't think we do.
No, because we
I was thinking back.
we
had just
recorded
seen
it the morning after we saw it, and we were
Yes.
in bliss.
Riding high.
Yeah.
Still in the afterglow.
Yep. Oh man, guys, go see it. Go.
That'll be
see it.
That'll be a fun midstream to do afterwards, because I do have some things that I want to talk about.
Well, yeah, I'm excited for our next midstream too, to listen to the episode and be like, does it hold up? Does it hold up to what I originally said? And I also want to see it a second time. I haven't gotten around to seeing it a second time yet.
I also have not gotten around to seeing it a second time.
It's a 3-hour commitment plus travel time. That's
yes,
harder and harder to pull off these days.
Yeah.
Too much real world.
Ugh, too much.
Just get me to my fake
real
world. So, guys, next week, Avengers Endgame with your pals Shades and Sketch. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Okay, I was asking our long-term listeners, but I'm glad you're excited. I mean, you were there. I was there.
I was.
Yeah. It was a good time.
I remember it just like I was there.
Yeah. It was great.
Because I was.
So, guys, we'll see you next time.
Sketch.
Yeah.
Before we go.
We're going. Oh, yeah.
A couple midstreams ago, I had teased.
I forgot
dropping
all about that.
Yeah, dropping the town in the U.S. with the largest concentration of longtime listeners.
Okay.
And then I had a severe allergic reaction, and also a concussion, a mild concussion, and I never did that.
Okay.
And so I should.
You should.
So, Sketch,
Yes.
I want to tell you about Bristol, Tennessee / Bristol, Virginia.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. I know all about Bristol, Tennessee. That's what they call it down there, you know.
Oh, you do?
No, not at all.
I had no idea.
I know nothing about Bristol. My whole family doesn't live there. Wink, wink. No, just kidding. Tell me about Bristol, Virginia / Tennessee.
So, Bristol / Virginia, Tennessee is commonly known as the birthplace of country music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you know that? I didn't know that.
And we've landed there. We've made a mark.
We have.
That's pretty impressive.
We have. This is the, and it's tough to tell if the LTLs are in Tennessee or Virginia, because it is split between the two states. It sits right on the state line.
Straddles the line.
Yes, the Virginia and Tennessee railroads reached the cities in late summer of 1856, having two different railroad companies digging a line, laying some track to get across the South, and where the two rail lines met at this point was Bristol.
Well, there you go. Just like
so
where
you had a Tennessee company and a Virginia company moving across the it's not the Midwest, it's not really the Deep South. I don't know what you call it.
Appalachia.
I guess it is Appalachia. Yeah. That was what you would call it. Thank you, Sketch.
Yeah, no problem.
It's So people started settling there in 1765, and the town was incorporated in 1856, and it is considered the birthplace of country music.
Long-time listeners since 1765. That is impressive.
It is,
and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and so they're still going strong. We just got
they're still going strong.
Contingent. Well, Bristolites, thank you. For tuning in.
But Sketch, bad news. Bad news.
No.
That was at the time of
that was pre-concussion.
Oh
gosh.
Bristol, you've been outdone. You've been superseded. You've been overtaken.
Oh gosh. Well, bye.
The new largest concentration of longtime listeners is now in Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Yeehaw.
We're huge. We're huge in Houston.
Everything's big in Texas, including Geeking Out with Shades and Sketch.
Yes.
I do have family somewhere in Texas. I'm trying to remember if it's Houston or Austin. It's one of the inns.
Completely different places.
Yeah. No, I know they are. I've never been down there, so I.
We're losing listeners as
I'm
you
hoping
speak,
to
Sketch.
go either this summer or next summer. No lie.
Cool.
Even before I knew about that. That's
cool.
my next road trip destination. So
All right. So, longtime listeners in Houston, Sketch is coming your way soon.
Yeah, have that Sequest DSV blueprint ready. You don't even have to mail it to me. I'll just pick it up at your house.
Don't bother mailing it. I'll come and get it.
That's all we'll take. Well, thanks for joining us, Houston.
Yes,
I feel
and
like
Bristol.
and of course Bristol. Of course Bristol. Longtime listeners from 1765, don't you know?
Yes.
Houston's new on the scene.
New on the scene.
Yeah. Well, guys, wherever you're listening from,
Thank you.
thank you. Even our French listeners, thank you, France.
Yes. Thank you for coming back.
You know I love you. I love your food. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
You know what French food has the best of?
What?
Sauces. Sauces.
They really
They have the
do.
best sauces in France. But you
They
know
really
what?
do.
You know what Texas has? Barbecue.
Oh, that's
You
true.
know, and
Yes.
I just love all these things. Bristol.
You are a sauce guy.
Hey, Bristol. Write in. What's your local cuisine? I'd
Ooh.
love to know. Because
Yeah.
I love food.
You-
I could honestly.
you are a foodie.
I could honestly.
You are
have-
a foodie.
I could have an offshoot of this podcast, pigging out with Sketch.
Maybe it'll be a Patreon
There you
exclusive
go.
podcast
There you
in the
go.
future. Pigging out with Sketch.
Yeah, that is funny. I like French food and I like barbecue, and both are known for their sauces. How about that?
Like, you're just a sauce
I
guy.
am a sauce guy. You know, it's my favorite word.
Sauces.
Sauces, guys. It sounds like what it means. Sauces.
Do you know what my favorite word is, Sketch?
I used to. Hold on. Petrichor.
Yes, correct.
Oh.
I named my third album
Guys,
Austin Petrichor.
Guys,
Wow.
did you think that in real life we weren't real friends?
That was a deep
Did
cut.
I just blow your mind?
I think some people do think in real life that we're not real friends.
I absolutely think that people think in real life they think how could anyone be friends with this guy?
It's not easy.
No,
It's not easy.
it is not. And
I give you a lot of credit. Sketch.
I wasn't gonna say which they were thinking of. Could be
Oh,
either.
it's okay. We all
It could be
know.
either. So I guess that
That brings us to the end of the episode.
that brings us to the end of the episode. Bristol
And Austin.
and Austin. I thought you said Houston.
And thank you to all. No. Houston.
Yeah.
Sorry, you put Austin in my head.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
See, two different places. Now they're
Sorry.
turning off.
Bristol
look at the
and
lights are going
Houston.
dead. Look at them. Oh no!
I know.
Come back!
Oh no.
I love your sauces. Bristol, write in with your town sauce. I want to know.
It's a Bristol sauce.
The Bristol sauce.
The Bristol sauce.
It seems like it would be
It's
like
tangy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tangy.
Yeah,
It's got a tang
I'm
to it.
seeing like a more like a Carolina barbecue sauce would be the Bristol
Ooh,
sauce. Is
interesting.
in Bristol listeners, if I'm wrong, let me know. Send me a
Let us
bottle.
know.
I'll taste. New Patreon, weekly Patreon sauce test with Sketch.
Send me your bottle.
Yeah.
Sauce test with
There
Sketch.
you go. Yeah, that
Whoa,
that won't
hitting the sauce with
hitting
Sketch.
this. Oh, I love it. That's not going to be
Hitting
bad
the
at all.
sauce.
I just get unmarked random bottles that I ingest live. Yeah, that'll be a great short running segment.
It was a short show, but a happy one.
This week, the GOCO set up in my local hospital as I'm getting my stomach pumped. Thanks for sending in that antifreeze, longtime listeners.
Oh my goodness. Hitting the sauce
Hitting the
with
sauce
Sketch.
with
coming,
Sketch. I love it.
Coming live to wherever your podcasts are downloaded.
I'm almost tempted to talk about a different sauce every midstream. I'm right there.
Go for it.
I'm so close. Nice pun.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, guys, I think
All right, Sketch. We should bring this to a close.
I think the show has reached its natural zenith about
Yes.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, guys,
All right. Thanks for podding with me, Sketch.
and likewise, Shades, and guys, we will see you next week for Avengers:
See you next
The
time.
Endgame.